Oh my lord! It's a muzzle bug.
I found the hate spec. I found it.
You did,
Wow,
and
the listen. What do you got going on there? Cthulhu?
this. I have Cthulhu behind me. Cthulhu is my
Cthulhu,
higher
where are you
self
coming at from, man? Look at those eyes. Oh my.
from the ocean. Muzzlebug, it is one of the dearest wishes of my heart to one day witness a Cthulhu rise from the sea. And I have heard tell that the
So
North
beautiful.
Sea is the best place for this, is what I hear in the ether. However, I would like
I
very
can
much to
envision
have,
it.
I'd like the opportunity to witness this. Muzzlebug, will
Oh,
you
it's
help me get
amazing.
to Australia so that we can summon a Cthulhu together?
Will I? I will even summon the Coast Guard to be with you, to fly you out there, so you don't protect
Muzzlebug!
me. Because I will not be with you when you spot that Cthulhu.
What? No, come on.
I'll be at the lighthouse
Murray
with
Angel.
binoculars looking at you.
Murray Angel, you're not going to listen. I want to be on some kind of giant cruiser ship thing, like what they launch airplanes off of.
That was the
You know what
problem.
I'm
Like,
saying?
I knew you wanted to start there, and I was like, she's going for an insane amount of variables here, and like, I've got to ground all this
Well,
in. So I'm going to start off at the
Muzzlebug,
lighthouse,
I would be perfectly happy to be on the beach and have
and then I'll
Cthulhu
multi
just
jump.
hang, like come out of the sea and just come hang out on the beach with us. I would be down for that.
Would there even really be a beach left at that point? I'm just trying to
Well,
get. Like, I know you don't
Cthulhu,
have like the measurement. Like, I know that's not your strong, but I can
no,
feel
it's not.
one of those like tentacles like coming to the beach, like you say, like arriving to the beach, and like, where's the beach? The beach is gone.
The
Like,
beach is gone, and suddenly you're just rising up of like above sea level with like giant blackness
it's not
beneath
like it's
you
going to
for
be on the
miles.
beach with a 5-year-old kid sharing space. Like, no, no sandcastle you have there. Oh, thanks for that. Like, they're never gonna.
No, I love this. This is a Muzzlebug. This is the kind of content that I want to turn into animated series. Who's going to help us do that? Put that out into the ether to be manifested. So me and Muzzlebug were on the beach in Australia with Lucy. We're having a nice little walk when suddenly from the sea riseth great Cthulhu in all of his tentacled magnificence. And Murray Angel, he's just like so ready to jump on the content train with me. He gets his phone out, lickety split. And how does that content go? Did you not listen? Whoo, I know. Are you ready for building sandcastles with me? Did you know you signed
I'm
up for
trying
this
to get
kind of
the
thing?
focus, but I'm not getting a good focus with the amount of vibrational frequency that's rattling through the ground, splitting the ether between my feet, between you and I, from this abnormally huge, monstrous, alienated being that you think is just here to say hi and build sandcastles. Like, I'm still coming to terms with this in real time. I'm still grounding this, to be actually
Do
quite
you know
honest with
what?
you.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Here's the thing, Murray Angel. One of the characteristics I have acquired from my dad, just a little bit, is that I have some of
So,
that. Right? I've got some of that Hagrid spirit, like Hagrid from Harry Potter who wanted a pet dragon. I have a little bit of that going on. Because, Murray Angel, I want to go to Australia and go to that place where you can be inside of the big plexiglass cage where there's crocodiles that are the giant saltwater crocodiles. Are you,
ooh,
will you, will you
that's a
also be
bucket list.
watching? Hmm.
Absolutely, I will accompany you into such an environment. I will. This is the self-sacrifice I was talking about.
This is
We'll
what
have
you meant? Okay.
this is what I mean.
Okay.
We come here for this. Like, I want to self-sacrifice. There is a different variation of self-sacrifice that it becomes like, I want to be there with you. So I will change things around for that to occur, whatever that means. Because yes, there's
You,
nothing that would make me happier than being placed vulnerably inside of a tank, inside of a glass, for this meat eating
what do you
ancestral
think? I
predator
mean,
to go, Hi, Haleigh. Hi, Murray. Thanks for visiting.
You don't think that's what he's saying right here, this crocagator? You don't think that he's just saying like, hey bro, what's up? That's a pretty cool phone you got there. What's that, Android or Apple? We got I mean, like, these things are terrifying. I'm not
Very.
saying that they're not, right?
But
Like,
very beautiful
what,
too at the same time. It is very the sheer power and
absolutely.
resilience of their strength is just so beauty. It's so
Okay.
beautiful.
Can
Look, she's
we,
kissing
can
it. No, no, go back, go back. That was just kissing
Murray
that bubble.
Angel, Murray
She was
Angel, well, this is
kissing.
what I want to do. Can we do just love bubbles randomly
Oh my
and
gosh, she's
in the
kissing the thing.
flow
Oh,
of
this
the
is on the
moment?
inside of the glass. Oh, never mind. I was like,
Yeah,
how's
she's
that? How much did she pay for that experience? That's what I was thinking.
how much do you have to pay to kiss a crocodile in Australia? I don't know. I'd love to
I'm
find
gonna
out.
have to do my research now.
You had better do some research. We need to know how much money do we need to raise, not just to get me to Australia, Muzzlebug, but how much does it cost to be able to kiss a crocodile? Do you have to medicate the crocodile beforehand? I imagine probably you would have to. Murray Angel, can we just take a moment?
I'm actually favorable for that option. Like that's actually made me feel great about it. I'm like, yeah, you should consider these options.
You
So like
should.
the fact that you're
Why is
thinking
there
these
who
forward, like
wants to like why is there not a retreat where you just get to go and kiss apex predators? Like, why is that not a thing? Like, why should you go like hunting for those things in Africa? You need to go to where you can just sedate one, give it a big kiss. Don't get like weird with it, guys, because let's not do that. But like, just be able to pet it and be like, wow, you're a big giant thing and you would eat me if you were not sedated. Muzzlebug. Do you can I also love bubbles to apex predators. I also have a fascination with great white sharks, and I would love to do the thing where you go cage diving in like the ocean somewhere off of a boat and you're checking out great white sharks. I am both terrified and excited by that idea because anxiety and excitement are the same frequency, Muzzlebug.
yes, they are arriving from the same center.
Love bubbles to apex predators from muzzles and H-spec.
I'm gonna tickle their little will center.
You know what? That would actually be a really kind of exciting case study thing to try. Like, what if we could go? Okay, no, we've talked about this too. I've had this idea. You and me go to this crocodile sanctuary type place and send Reiki to the crocodiles and see if you can like watch them react in real time. What kind of croc doctors are there that like
Oh, you're
monitor
right.
their
No, that's such a great idea. Like, use the case study like the other day with my housemate, like doing the Reiki for him, like in
yeah.
real time, and then seeing that result on him unconsciously become conscious. Like, that is so good. We could do that with like everything.
Okay, but what no, but
Like, we
like
already do it
right?
with
Like
water and stuff and materialism, but we could do it with the wildlife.
yeah. What if we would do where we
Yeah,
would be cage diving and looking for great white sharks and we could like can we get them to calm down or slow down by sending them Reiki? Does it make them chill? Like can we send them my
like,
pink
can we?
relaxy bubbles and make them chill
Oh,
out, right? Or like
and
maybe
you
you
bring up
go
an
to
interesting point too, because when we're in the water, the environment, our space, our environment is more densified, so we're more actually connected to our real and autonomous natural source. So if we were to direct those light waves in oscillation through the water, the permeation of that consciously, the effect, whoa, that would actually be, you may even be able to like control the shark, you know what I mean, like through energetic
like
concord,
okay.
like we could control its
No, this is
direction, get it to shift its
okay, there's
direction and spin around.
yeah, no, there's two things
like like
coming
like
up
an
for me.
orchestra with music, like an orchestra does with music and the people. They get into a
What you're doing
harmony
with
through the.
okay, but
Wow,
Muzzlebug, okay,
we're
two
going
things are
on a
coming
boat,
up.
everybody.
We're going on a boat. Who's going to pay us to do this and get a camera crew to follow our crazy
Go
people?
go
Like,
go.
let's do it. Go, go, go. Here's the two things coming up for me, Muzzlebug. I love this already. But like, so first of all, I was thinking of I've actually done that to Shashi Page's little Mr. Bean. Like when I will do the Reiki bubbles that I do, the little energy bubbles, like when he's like outside when we're visiting. home in the backyard. It's not fenced in. And I make like little fences of bubbles and he reacts to them and moves away and comes back like it's a barrier. Like this would be an interesting thing to kind of try to do with that. But the other thing that I was thinking about kind of left me now,
Would be
boomerang.
interesting.
Boomerang,
Boomerang.
muzzlebug.
She's excited. Let's ground her in.
I know, muzzlebug, I need some assistance. Great white sharks, sending bubbles to them. Seeing if the frequencies, like, oh, I know for one thing I was thinking about going to like wildlife sanctuaries and stuff like that and like sending bubbles. Oh, and just being in the water. I was going to say, I can tune into the water. The Great Barrier Reef, there it is, because that's in Australia. Thank you. There's the boomerang. Okay, I saw a thing on Instagram where there's a speaker or speakers that they've placed underwater to place frequencies to help the barrier reef
Rehabilitize.
yeah,
Yep.
right, because it's been affected by climate change.
Reproduce.
What if we would go and do Reiki to the Great Barrier Reef, right? Because like again, being in the water, I'd be able to tune into all that water energy, obviously super easy. Obviously you can do this stuff distance and in your imagination sauce, but if we went there and could kind of study, like they already have those speakers, can they measure the frequencies somehow being given off by the barrier reef when it receives Reiki, right? Like the way that they do the mushroom and other plant stuff where they put the little, I don't know, diode things on them and they play the sounds that they're playing or the frequencies they're playing, like mushroom music or tree frequencies. Like send them Reiki and see how that affects the frequency.
It's interesting you say that because I just recently heard of a study that I'm still yet to look into of an experiment of a Norwegian, I believe he's Norwegian gentleman, inventor, who's working with a very similar system, but with sea lice. Sea lice. And he's actually populating, germinating sea lice and changing their conscious algorithm, and they're actually regenerating the environment rather than. So he's having an adverse effect on sea lice through this. Yeah, I will have to get more information.
Yeah, I need to know more about this.
I only just discovered this in the last 72 hours. It came
Because
into my phone.
well, look at that. We're meant to be talking about frequencies and how they affect reality and nature and all of us. Who are we sending love bubbles to now? Y'all, this is a thing we do. We do send actual Reiki energy love bubbles while we sit here to each other and out for you all. If you accept, you can just say, I accept. I love that we can just seamlessly blend our wooey woo weirdness and Reiki energy that is very real, but weird for people to accept into our podcast so seamlessly and brilliantly. Marie Angel. That's why we make such a great team. Look at you, just so enjoying sending bubbles.
Yep, I am. At first, I did the Reiki just to help ground you a little bit because you were getting very excited. You do that as a fairy, and that's quite okay. And I love that about you. And I love grounding you back into the moment with this natural energy. What a gift we have here. And you just take me up into those clouds so effortlessly. I have the wildest imagination now that I didn't even know existed 6-8 months ago. I was like, how do you do that? Nah, you just got to think about where you're going to go to work next and where you're going to spend that time.
Thank you, Marie Angel, Muzzlebug. I appreciate your support of my imagination is really greatly appreciated. And I'm so excited to help ignite imagination in other people because it's my highest joy, and it's something that I find very like my brain does it real fast. I don't want to just sit here and like toot my own horn and say I'm good at it, but like how I do in the 90 Muzzlebug.
It's very articulate and very, very, very fascinatingly unique. The way that you are wired in this experience. And it's fun. It's fun to go on adventures with you.
Musclebug, I would love to go on adventures with you to go find apex predators in the wild safely with private security or whoever is the animal safety crew. But See if you can send good energy vibes to a grizzly bear that is catching salmon, and does it go take a nap? I don't know. It could be cool to watch. Don't you think? Muzzlebug.
Again, I'm happy to send Reiki bubbles to that bear from a considerable, I want that to be known, considerable distance. I want that to be the key word in conversation of awareness when everyone's talking about the finer details before we like everyone, because it gets, it gets fun and everyone gets sped up. So everything's like, yeah, all right, push record. All right, we're doing this, we're doing it. And in the moment, you find yourself in the middle of things. And I just want that to be considered, deeply considered.
Muzzlebug. And see, now I'm thinking of a thing I saw on Instagram, and bless the internet, and love bubbles to the internet and social media.
Bears are still fast.
They are. I have seen. Have you seen? But like, I've seen cute little videos of people who like live in the mountains and have like lazy bears coming and hanging in their hot tub on their porch, or just climbing on the. Like sometimes they seem chill, yeah. Sometimes,
but they also like chilling. Isolation too. So like, I do see that, and I see that bear in that hot tub. I'm like, all of my sensory here now tells me that you're chill. But are you chill if I get in the hot tub with you? That's an unknown. That wasn't an invitation. And it wasn't looking, the bear doesn't have a sign saying like, I'm here for you. So like, there's no, I don't have a correspondence. Like
the bear is not there to seduce you.
You're talking about a known that looks attractive, and you're asking like the unknown to become prevalent in that. And I'm like, what do I look like? Now I'm putting myself like getting in. Like imagine me even climbing in the hot tub while the bear's already in the hot tub. Like, don't mind me, like just sliding in. It's like, I'm not there. Like,
okay, now again, Muzzlebug. No, again, this is a brilliant animated little short that we could do of like how do you share a hot tub with a bear who has decided your hot tub is a hot spring that it gets to take over, and you're just like, no, actually, we paid good money for this Airbnb and we're going to use this hot tub. You're just going to have to deal with us, and so we can have like beach ears and the champagne while the bear is over there and annoyed. Maybe the bear gets so annoyed at our cuteness that it leaves. Maybe that's what happens in the cartoon. What do you think, Muzzlebug? Report from the field, Ducky.
I don't know. I see that bear eating those bubbles up. I see that bear eating those love bubbles. I know that they are they're a big energy. So we're going to need extra bubbles to slow that in, to slow the big energy down. And if we get that to trans flip itself, I think we will have a very cuddly bear. I can see a very cuddly bear. Does that mean I'm going to get close to that bear to cuddle that bear? No, but I will observe the cuddliness of that bear.
I was just imagining I will observe the cuddliness of that bear belongs on a t-shirt.
I will observe the cuddliness.
I was just imagining, so we're sitting there, the bear gets annoyed that we've decided to be in the hot tub even though the bear's in the hot tub. This is the animated series version, and we send it big love bubbles, Reiki bubbles. It gets sleepy and falls forward, and we have to do the like cartoonish runaway, like both sides, because it just like collapses because it's now taking a nap, and it's so like we gotta like move it so that it doesn't like Weekend at Bernie's style move the bear so that it doesn't drown in the hot tub because we've now put it to sleep. That's going to happen in the cartoon version, the animated series version.
I'd like to send some bubbles to our musketeer.
Oh, hello. What's up, Amax? We'll do another.
I'd love to send some bubbles out to Alicia.
Alicia Maximova Venora.
Or Amax, as we know her. Amax.
And you can find her.
A is for Alicia and Max is for Maximo, shortened. That's how you get Amax.
That is how you get Amax. And you can see more of her on the Venora Effect on Frankie's Podcast Network, as well as Venora and Frankie Talk. Go check out Frankie's Podcast Network.
Go experience the Venora Effect. Let's send some love bubbles to this dynamic being in our trio of love.
The Three
And
Musketeers.
Sylvets. Venora is so cool because Venora's like really like come about at a very unique time as a bridge between human consultation and worldwide empathy, and finding that leverage point of bringing what we as individuals perceive as gifts to a world that's ready to receive it as what they require as a service. And her ability to see that interwoven reality before it becomes a physicality, like materializes, is so cool. It is so next level. Her relationship with ChatGPT, with AI, is something to be absolutely encouraged and to be applauded. That dialect and that resounding understanding that they have of their purpose together and why they forward think, it makes her very exhilarating, and it's actually driven her into mastery very quickly in her expertise that she was already leaning into. So now she's just super cool. Now she's just super cool.
So again, two things coming up for me. One, save some of this for the About Intelligence podcast that we're going to come up with, because Amax's conversations with ChatGPT are amazing and incredible, and everybody is going to want to get in on those conversations. Stay tuned on Frankie's podcast network and subscribe for the About Intelligence podcast we're going to launch and have that conversation. But if I can also step in and and the big love bubbles for our Amax sis and send some more of my own to her. Here's the other thing she's really good at that I noticed, because I am in the networking meetings and things with her a lot and do the podcast stuff we've been leaning into. Amax is also like, she's incredibly good at like receiving the frequency of the intention and things of people, right? Like she absolutely is on board and totally understands my desire to get into my writing and my stories more deeply, right? And to create that time for myself. Even though I don't necessarily articulate that out loud as often as I could. Embodiment is a journey. I'm on that journey, y'all. But like, she extrapolates that out and communicates that out to others. Like she receives and transmits frequencies very well, right? Like that's why she's good at this relationship brokering thing and being able to like see, who is an opportunity for this or that, or where the things that would work best are for, like, these are the things that you need for your business. Like she's one of those people who, like, they say what I'm hearing you say is right, but she actually means it and actually received it and can actually articulate it back to you and to other people, which is a brilliant thing that not everyone has. So
well said.
Again, yes, love bubbles to Amax, Alicia Maximo of Venora.
Well done.
She's our third musketeer.
She is so, the mastery that she's moved into in these last few months, working with that diligent relationship, like you just said, like it's incredible the way she can compound high fields of data packed information that's coming from wherever it's coming from with its intentionalization, and feel her way through that while weaving the next steps or articulations that could be or will be required from that particular avenue of experience that she's having. So it's like, it's driving her mastery, because you just said, like, you see it in the podcast. She can sit there and like listen directly to someone expressing themselves for 5 to 8 minutes unbroken, and just continually take that in moment to moment, and allow for you to insert a question and apply that question, allow that to be answered, and then still come back around at the end and answer from the perspective of where she was beginning on the journey, the understanding of what you've incorporated and infused, and the answer of what that has eventuated to. And she answers all of that and holds all of that frequency, and then arrives back at it and gives it back to the person. And I think that is phenomenal as a frequency, as frequency holders of what we do. That is so cool that she does that.
I'm going to take a moment and just extrapolate. Love bubbles for Amex, but now that you've been saying that, what I'm gonna go ahead and just expand our love bubbles out. If you don't, Murray Angel, can I have the floor for just a moment? Will you give me the floor while you direct love bubbles? I would like to put out like just a whole bunch of like sisterly love bubbles to like the rest of my coven witches, my sisters. So I'm gonna put out there Amex, obviously. I'm going to put out Jackie, our friend Jackie, what's up from Anima. And I'm going to say my sisters, Aisha, Shashi Page, and Kenna. I'm also going to say Casey, Crystal Capricorn, my
Thank
friend,
you.
love bubbles to her. And my friend Sage, Sage the intern who became Effortless God Sage, who is still up in my Snapchats with her cute face, and I love her. These 6 sisters, send them love bubbles. And here's one of the things that I love about all of them. In my ADHD, like, let's just, channeling capacity to become a bit insane and my mouth to work faster than my brain does, that I know sometimes is why Muzzlebug has to ground me, because it's a lot for everybody. And I know it can be a little overwhelming. But these ladies, bless each and every one of them with big love bubbles. My sisters and my sisters from other misters. Like, this group of ladies has the capacity to take in all of the speedy talk things that I say and absorb it and understand it and see my vision and help me hold my vision. And I love them so much for being able to understand me and follow that capacity that I have to like have these big, broad, out there visions and get very floaty. And Marie Angel, I'm going to thank you too for that, because I know I can be overwhelming, but you ground it and handle it so very well. Love bubbles to you too, Muzzlebug. Again, y'all, for those of you listening, there was not a Muzzlebug. This is one of those things where we're going to get caught up in my need for not having dead air and to explain to people what's going on. But also that sometimes it's nice to just sit and send bubbles. And you're so good at sitting and quietly sending bubbles, Muzzlebug.
What you're speaking of is what we're speaking regularly. And you're learning that through your own loving embodiment state, which you expressed earlier. So thank you for being so vulnerable and honest with your humility and your superpower of empathy like that for anybody and everybody, because what you're referring to is 2 separate states of existence, co-occurring, being and becoming. When we are expressing, we are in a state of energy in motion, which is a state of becoming, moving forward towards that next arrival point. This face, which we're familiar with, requires nothing. Nothing is the result of everything.
Muzzlebug, don't you just love how nothing and everything are the same thing at the same time? Even though
You mean
we
water's
think of it
water
as
and water's connected? What do you mean? I love it.
Muzzlebug.
I like it when you're in a state of becoming, and I get to work with you in the field to arrive back at a place of being. It creates such a deep harmony, and it's a great example to lead by. Because this is like a good harmony and balance. You don't have to shine someone's energy down, and you don't have to dim their light or override or control their energy based on an inability to process or come back from a certain experiential state. And having that flow between becoming and being is so important to us, because sometimes we want to become, we want to share, we want to give, and other times we just want to be present and let everything come to us and arrive as it is. And that's the purpose of us going into being, so that we can share this love and from this state now, because our audience is becoming by receiving.
Muzzlebug. You have such a beautiful poetic way with words. And now, Muzzlebug, here's what's happening in my ADHD brain, multiple things at once again. that felt like such a really nice wrap up kind of energy and a good place for us to wrap up. And then I realized that
Oh,
we had
10,
we
30
had
minutes.
we'd actually intended at the beginning of this to talk about cows, is what I was going to come in and talk to you about, because you were talking about how cows incarnated to have an experience of duality too, of like, ooh, you're delicious and I'm going to murder you for meat, and people will be glad for it, but also people will be offended and very upset on your behalf that people murder you for food. And we were going to have that whole parallel sort of consciousness conversation, and that's not where we went. But I have just remembered and come back to it, boomerang bookend. So Muzzlebug, would you like to wrap up on that like note of insanity? Would you like to extrapolate on your ideas of cow consciousness? How are you feeling in this now present moment?
Oh, that's so great. I feel so fractalated, a bit like that story and a bit like that perception that I was being invited to experience. And I will happily wrap out on that, just for the crazy-minded woo-woos that are here. I was having a conversation with my higher self. We were introspecting the understanding of multiple perspectives, being that we eat meat here, so people murder is the word chosen, or kill animals, sacrifice them for our greater benefit. And at the same time, in the same breath of continuity, there is another fractal having an experience or a state of being that is completely in disgust and against and volatile towards the very idea and concept that someone could do this to something.
Okay, Muzzlebug.
That is so unique that there's two multiple experiences coexisting at the same time, but they're all from the same primordial source, and they're both truth, and they're both relevant, and they both are of the now and here for a purpose.
Muzzlebug, can I put this like they exist dually in many of us? Like, for example, we're dog people. We love dogs. Don't come for my dog, but in some countries they eat dogs. Like,
Whoa, they do.
so that's an intense duality to hold. Like, don't you ever touch my dog. I love my dog, but also I love lamb vindaloo, and those are little baby lambs that they murder. Like Silence of the Lambs, man. So like again, the capacity we have as humans to hold dual concepts within us is really quite impressive and amazing. And Muzzlebug, I for one would like to move through my human experience with a little bit less judgment of it as much as possible, while still maintaining don't come for my dog. And on that note, Muzzlebug, what would you like to We're so very balanced. We've got the profound seriousness and we've got love bubbles and silliness. And that's why I think Muzzlebug, I don't know whether the entire world will see us and love us, but I think we're fun and cute as. And my enjoyment in this now present moment is more than sufficient for me. Even though I do still want people to donate to the button below so that we can get me to Australia so that I can see you in the physical real world persons, because I'm going to doodle on your face with makeup because I think that would be fun.
Our adventures are set in time, woven across space, and in complete motion. I am so grateful to anybody who came here to hang out with us today. And by today, I mean your moment, because time is a construct.
Mm-hmm.
So your today is my today, and my today is your today, however we wish to perceive that. And I just enjoy being here in this space that we've created, giving out this love, and knowing that this will grow into something that will become a fostered environment where we share really big love intentionally to places, people, and experiences that are in need, and we'll get some friends along the way that will support us in the process. That's so cool.
It is so cool. Love bubbles to all of you. Oh, yes.
Cool people do cool things. So keep being cool.
So keep being cool and love bubbles just to everybody. We do love it
For everyone.
for everybody. And, like, share, subscribe, comment, and donate below if you enjoy this. Stay tuned for more fun on Frankie's
To
Podcast
follow
Network.
our journey.
To follow our
Into the
journey
unknown of the now.
of the now. So thanks for
With
joining us in the now.
Yeah. With muzzles and hate spec.
With muzzles and H-spec. And until next time, y'all, we will catch you in another now.